All right, family. We are back. We are back. We are back. Sorry for that little interruption, but we are back. So we might have to go back, and to where we were. But we were talking about that woman's 200 meters. That woman's 100 meters. My apologies, right?
Yes. Hmm.
So we're talking about the women's 100 meters. We were talking about, that event specifically, and that outcome because we are all talking about Julian Alfred, obviously, and um, Melissa Jefferson Wooden. All right. So as I said before, if the race gets down to say in the 10-7s, 10-7 mids, 10-7 lows, it may become a different race for other people who might be interested in that race, right?
Yep.
So, what would be your take on this race coming in? I mean, this is one of the big events we've been looking forward to for many years. Actually, the women's 100 meters has been the star of the show, especially for the last probably 10 years. But now this showdown, it's not your regular protagonist. It's not your Shelley's. It's not your Elaine's. It's not your Sharika's. It's not even your Shakari Richardson's. It's the current Olympic champion versus the world leader and the fastest woman in 3 years, to be exact. How you see this going?
So I think because they both have excelled and worked on the weakest part of their races, I don't see any weakness in either of them. Both of them have great starts. Both of them have great transitions. Both of them has great top speed, and both of them have great speed maintenance. So when
Right,
you have people who are equally matched, it's going to come down to who can maintain while the pressure's on. We have a phrase that says pressure bursts pipes. Now, they can both go through all those phases when they're winning, but the question is, can you do that when you have somebody next to you running stride for stride, especially in those last 20 meters when both of them, rightfully so, in their own accounts, are usually by themselves when it comes to the
right,
last 20. So it's like going back to Kashane, and I tell people about this all the time. Kashane got beat not because Noah beat him, but because Fred Curley. And let me explain. Fred pressed Kashane. Kashane never felt pressure from anybody into the last 20 meters all year. So if
right,
you remove Fred Curley from that 100-meter dash, Kashane's going to win that because he's not going to feel pressure. He's not going to tense up, which would allow Noah to come back last year. I'm
right.
specifically speaking for that. Now, fast forwarding to this instance, both of these girls have never felt pressure those last 20 meters, other than when they both raced. And Melissa maintained her form well, which allowed her to win. So Julian, she has more experience on the big stage. So she already became an Olympic champion. She has handled that pressure. Melissa's never had that. So it's like it's much easier to run when you're that underdog, when people don't have the expectation for you to win. But as soon as they expect it, as soon as you start to see your face everywhere and you become in the face of track, now you have a sense of responsibility. It's like now it's not even just winning for yourself. It's like I have to win for people. And like that's 10 times harder than just going out there and trying to win for yourself. So she has now the weight of an entire nation, America, that Shakiri
Mm,
once held for her. Shakiri used to be that umbrella above her to manage the expectations for America. Now Shakiri's umbrella is gone. Now you're that it girl. So like, can you maintain that? And these are things that's going to come into factor those last 20 meters into that race. So it's going to be very interesting to see how both of them manage those expectations and can really focus on their lane. Whoever focuses on their lane the most will win.
and that's my take on something like this. Like for me, it's one of those races where you're saying to yourself, it's gonna be the person who has the better mental state because
Mm-hmm.
Julian's problem is still her start. And here's the funny part: we saw that in the Diamond League finals when Tia got out on her,
Yep.
and she had to work. She really had to work. But fortunately, she had that top end. And I made this comment to a friend of mine. I said, The moment that Tia starts running 200, it's going to be a problem. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because she can start to endure. But back to Julian, that was exposed.
Yeah.
So far, I've not seen a weakness in Melissa's race. And the fact that she's run sub 22 shows me that she has that speed endurance. Just like
Mhm.
you mentioned with Oblique, he started running 400s.
Yeah.
That 20.13 showed you why no one is closing on him,
Yeah. Like
because
you're not closing.
he's getting out. And I mean, Noah, who we saw in the Diamond League with Kishane, where Noah got back at Kishane,
Yeah.
both times Noah raced Oblique, he was left in the dust. Like, it wasn't even close. It was
Mm.
1086 to 10.0, 10 flat, and then
Yep.
1087 to 1002. Like, it was
Mhm.
never close. So my thing is that advantage, no, because both are great 200-meter runners. You
Yep.
take away that 200-meter endurance, it's now who has the best first 40. Melissa
Yeah.
has that. Now, if, as I said, if Melissa is in a race, now here's where I mentioned if it's going to be an issue. If
Hmm.
Melissa has to run from behind, which we've not seen her have to do so far this
Yeah.
year. So if let's just say, for example, Shelly and Tina makes it to the finals.
Hmm.
These are two girls, and say Melissa is sandwiched in between them. So Shelly is in lane 3, Tia is in lane 5, Melissa is in lane 4. No, those are two great starters, and it doesn't matter if Shelly's 38, she still gets out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Her first 30 ain't 38.
exactly. So she now gets out, and you're like, okay, what does Melissa do if she has to combat that? Because those girls will intimidate you into sitting in the box. I don't care
Yep.
how good you are. We've seen it with the best of them.
Yep.
Shelly will make you sit in those blocks because even at 38, you're like, how does she do this?
Hmm.
So you're like, all right, what if the race has to come to Melissa, where she now has to take the race? We've seen Juju have to take a race before.
Yep.
We've never seen Melissa have to take a race. And that for me is where it's going to be an issue if the race comes down to that. Now, if it's easy, then fine.
That's a great point, and you're 100% right. She's never felt a body in front of her coming out of that dry phase, transitioning into that max velocity. So it's like we don't know. Like we now, luckily for her, I mean, she spent all last year doing that,
Right.
being behind and trying to come back and getting in a position, and she ultimately did that in the Olympics. So it's like we know she's had the ability to deal with that because she did it last year. But again, I mean, each year's a new person. People don't really take things that they did from last year. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how she responds if that happens. But also, I do want to go back to touch to Julian.
Right.
Back when she did have that bad start, I think that was simply a bad start and not necessarily she's a bad starter. Because if you go back and look at the Olympics, she won the race in the first 10 meters. Like she
Yeah.
jumped out there and it was over. I mean, over. So it's like you also have people to where they say pressure bursts pipes, but also pressure makes diamonds. So it's like
Right.
I've seen her to be able to do that on the big stage when it matters the most. She reacts and gets out and is just running her race. And I think she could potentially do that to Melissa. And I don't know if Melissa could come back and catch Julian because she finishes strong as we see. So it's
Exactly.
like that's to me where Julian can get an advantage if she gets and it was more like a reaction, like because it necessarily wasn't like the dry phase was just so killer because I went back and looked at that, like it was her first step, like she had her first step down while everybody's foot is still in the air. So like that's a huge sign of reaction that's happening. So if she can have that same reactivity of coming out and paired with her dry phase, I think when Melissa looks up and sees a body in front of her,
Right.
I don't know. Like we're speaking of things that we've never seen before. So it's like it could cause her to mess around and go 10-9 because she's just so discombobulated.
And that's the thing. Like, I've always said, the reason why someone like Shelly Elaine and Veronica and Carmelito. The reason why they were so good was they you didn't beat them; they beat themselves,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter because we saw where Jetta was a poor starter, but by 2009 she was an elite starter. We saw Shelly's first half of her career. If she doesn't get out, you're going to catch her. By the time
Yep.
we got to 2013, you were not catching Shelly. It doesn't matter what happened,
Mhm.
So we've seen these elite athletes. Veronica did the same thing. We can go back to the Marion Jones of the world and the Evelyn
Ooh,
Ashfords of the
yeah.
world.
Mhm.
They are athletes where they became elite in various aspects of their races.
Yep.
We're still yet to see, and I don't know, maybe Coach Dennis is working on it. I ain't going to know Coach Dennis. He's doing well this year.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say about him. But we do have questions about Melissa. Unnecessary, maybe, but there's still questions,
Mhm.
right? And for me, that's the issue. Like, we've not seen her tested
Yep.
except once, and that was obviously at Prefontaine.
Yep.
But that was very early in the season. A lot has changed. Melissa
Yeah.
was running 10-6 at Prefontaine.
Exactly. Yeah.
So a lot has changed since then. That for me is the issue because what we have seen so far that has happened is here comes Tia Clayton. Here comes Tina Clayton. Sharika ran 10-8 at the Jamaica Trials, but we haven't seen her since. We
Yeah.
know what Front does. When
Yeah.
he takes you into the lab, we know what's gonna happen.
You come back in a new person.
Exactly. So we're seeing these things and we're like, okay, Melissa's last race, she ran 10-7. Is she regressing? Because that was the first thing I heard. Like, she ran 10-7. She's regressing. I'm like, calm down. You don't run unless you're Shelley and Fraser that ran 10 races and ran seven.
Yeah.
Seven of them were 10-6s, and that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
So we're looking at it like this is the showdown people want to see, and there's a little history on the line because the last time the Olympic champion won the world championships was 2012 when Shelley did it.
Oh.
That's the last because 2016 Elaine won the world
It's been that
championships.
long?
It's been that long, and the only
Is
other
that
time,
for women and men or just women?
but well, yeah, it would be both because Usain Bolt did it as well. It was the last time it was done.
Dang.
20 2012, 2013, both men and women. The last time the Olympic champion became the world champion. So it's been 13 years.
Mhm.
So
That's crazy.
those are the things that you're looking at. You're like, okay, here are the trials. And again, like I said, I got to give Dennis Mitchell his credit.
Mhm.
He's done. He has the four women in the 100 meters. Like,
Yeah.
the last time we saw something like that was in with Jamaica in 2016 when all three women in the finals were from MVP.
Eureka,
Well, yeah,
Elaine,
we're all
and
MVP athletes at the time. So
yep.
it was that was the last time we saw it. So for one coach to be dominant, and I'm gonna segue into something which I'm gonna talk about this before I go into the other events because I want to
Okay.
get to that 400. But those 4x1s,
Ooh.
because here it is, your
You
four
know,
by
as an
one.
American, that's a soft spot, man. You know, the
Here's what's going to happen with those 4x1s. You are literally having one camp running a 4x1 because let's be real, the four
literally.
of them are going to be running the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be
Yep.
having one camp. I mean, the closest we've gotten to something like that was 2008 with Jamaica when Nesta, Michael, and Asafo were all from MVP. I know you
Yep.
put the greatest sprinter of all time in there and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, we've never seen something like this. It's literally one camp.
Yeah.
These girls would have run relays together. They would know each other. And I think it now changes how do we do this 4x1 because Gabby isn't there, Aaliyah Hobbs isn't there.
Yeah.
But Jenna
Gabby's hurt.
has,
Did you hear about that, by the way?
yeah, I heard it. I saw it
Yeah.
this morning and I was like, oh, man. I saw it like 12 in the AM. I was like, what? And
Yeah.
for me, it's bittersweet because I think she now gives Sharika, and I'm going to get to the 200 soon, but it now
Okay.
opens it up for the 200.
Yep.
Um, but the US 4x4 woman, and I'm going to get to that too, will have a little bit of an issue now because Gabby is integral to that 4x4, regardless of what we want to say.
I'm gonna tell you, our football 4 team didn't need Gabby. Like they're so stacked. Like Gabby was just a
That is
plus.
true. That is true. But you're looking at it. I mean, when you bring Jenna Prandini into that 4x1, you've secured that third leg, which
Yeah.
now you're going to be like, okay, maybe you're going to take out Kayla White from the finals to put in Jenna, because we've seen Jenna over the years. That third leg is hers, because you're not
Yeah.
going to drop TT.
Yeah.
TT is
Yeah.
this
Not
is
jumping
you ain't
TT.
dropping TT.
Yeah.
You ain't dropping Melissa Jefferson,
Nope.
and you for sure ain't dropping Shakari. I don't care what form she is in.
Nope.
You're not
No,
dropping
she
that
still
girl.
has her top end now. Her start
Exactly.
is horrible, but her top end is there, and that's all that matters in a 4x1. Everybody gets to run.
Exactly.
So,
So we know this. So we know probably Melissa is going to take that back stretch. Shakari is going to run the anchor. You're probably going to start with TT. And if I'm the US Association, Jenna is in form. It's not that she's running poorly. She is in form. Probably
yeah,
one of the best forms we've seen in the last 4 years.
true.
I'm dropping her on that third leg, because when you put that Jamaican team together, it's going to be Shelly, well, not in order, but I'm going to put it in order how I think it's going to go. It's
Okay.
going to be Tia to Shelly to Tina to Sharika. I know exactly that's what's going to happen. That's not how I would want it,
Yeah.
because if I was going to pick the team, I would have gone Shelly to Tina to
Yes.
Sharika and Anchor with Tia if it was up to me.
Oh, really? You wouldn't have Sharika on anchor?
I if you saw that 22-1 that Sharika ran,
Yeah.
that curve was really good. And that for me
I
is her
feel that.
strength.
Yeah.
That for me is a strength for her. The problem is she doesn't know how to pass the baton. But here's a
Yeah.
positive that I loved. Did you see her start in the London and Diamond League in the
Yes.
4x1?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the Jamaican team, I'm putting Sharika to start. And I'm going to get as much as I can out of Tina and Tia during. I'm going to get as much as I can out of Tina on that back stretch, and Shelly on that third leg. I'm going to give back Shelly her third leg. And I'm going to say, Tia, it's going to be you versus Shakari. So I'm going top heavy if I'm Jamaica. Because remember,
That's interesting.
Tina is still a 1082 sprinter. Like,
Yeah.
she's run 1082, 1080, 84. So it's not like she's
But
not.
you got to look at how they did it though.
Right.
They're doing it because they're obliterating that first 40 meters. Like even like when she went against Juju. So it's like that's their strength. So when
Right.
you take their strength away, are they still these big and tough girls? I don't know.
But here's the thing about it. Remember the world junior record. Tina ran the backstretch and Tia anchored.
Yeah.
They're going to be the backstretch and the anchor for the near future when the Brianna Listons and the Alana Reid comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I put Tia to anchor? Her pickup is a lot quicker than most people. She is going to get away. She's going to, that first 10 in that 4x1, in that anchor leg, she's going to pick up very well. And I trust Shelly to make enough ground running the second shortest leg. I trust her to make up enough ground to pass to Tia. Again, I think because Shelly has run all legs on the 4x1 before. She and Karen Stewart are the two Jamaicans who've done so. I'd put Shelly on that third leg just to have that little bit of, experience on that bed.
Yep, on the backside. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
And
Shelly's a Swiss Army knife. You can put her anywhere.
Exactly. You put her anywhere. She's run everywhere.
Like, the one reason why I would still favor putting Sharika on fourth is just because I feel like, we elongate. So like, I'm not gonna have her run 100 meters. She's probably gonna be running 110, and like to really take advantage because she can maintain it. She's a 200-meter runner, and like that's something that I. And yes, she doesn't have as good enough start as a Tia, but you kind of take that out of the situation. Everybody's getting a running start, so like you get that stick running. So I think she will be able to maintain that better towards the end versus having someone who's predominantly more of a front load runner trying to hold off of Shakiri, because Shakiri is going to be coming. I don't think that Shakiri could catch Sharika. I am pretty sure and more confident that Shakiri would catch either of the twins. So, and that's just my outtake on that.
I mean, granted, I could front load that Jamaica team and literally start Shelly, put the twins in the middle, and end with Sharika. You're not losing. You're not losing there.
That may be it right there. I like that.
Yeah. So I that would be my second thing, my second option. And then we go over to the male team. I mean, for the US, I think Christian Coleman winning that Diamond League cemented if we ever thought that somebody was going to start over him. No,
Yeah.
he's the starter. Like, that's his job. He's the
Mhm.
Nestor Carter of the US. He
Literally,
does,
that's his
yeah,
job.
that's his job. He does nothing else, right?
Yeah. It's always
Um,
like you got first leg and who else?
yeah, basically. So I would. So if I'm doing the US team, I think it sets itself up by itself. It is. If for me, it's going to be Christian, Kung Fu, Lindsay, Noah. I don't think Noah and Kung Fu Kenny are over that thing.
Yeah, you can't have them handing off to each other. You got to
Yeah,
separate them. But like,
exactly. So
but also
I
too, it's like it's tricky because if you go back and look at the when the world record was set with the Americans when they had Carmelita, Bianca,
right,
Felix, it's not always about the top four fastest because Bianca
exactly.
Knight was not the fourth fastest.
She
She
probably wasn't even. She
yeah.
wasn't even the fourth fastest 200-meter runner. Like,
Exactly. So, but she's a great relay runner. She knows how to play her role, get the stick, and get it off. She like that. That's what she's known for. So it's like that's something that scares me with Kung Fu because he messed up royally. Like it was bad. Now he's clearly the best person that we have to go on second leg, but is he the best relay person? And that's something that really has to come into play in these 4x1s and picking these individuals. And like, I know he's going to be there, but like, it just makes me very nervous because to me, you have solo runners and you have people who are good on relays. Kung
yeah,
Fu is a solo runner. He doesn't know how to deal with other people in his lanes. Like
facts.
he can't do that well. So I hope a close friend of mine, D2, he's actually going to be working with him and both of the relays. Like I pray they can get him down. Like that's the majority because Courtney's handoff was good. We know
Yeah.
Chris is going to do his thing. Noah, just as long as he's in the vicinity, he's going to grab it and go. Like that's a second leg from first to second. I am extremely nervous. If we get that baton, it don't even have to be good. If we get the baton handed from Christian to Kung Fu, we good. But it's a
Here,
big if.
here's my issue with Kung Fu running that back stretch. Oblique will be running that back stretch. I am telling you this. You can bet on that. Oblique will be running that back stretch. Oblique will also be 4 days fresher.
Oh,
Remember, none of apart from Brian Lavelle, who I think will run the curve, none of the other guys in the 4x1 will be running 200 meters.
yeah.
You're going so Shane is going to be fresh. Oblique is going to be fresh.
You're gonna
What
have
else?
Akeem Blake on first leg.
Akeem is our starter.
Yeah,
That's by
and
that
he won't be
cements
too
itself.
far behind Coleman. Like he can
Exactly.
go with Coleman.
But
Yeah,
so in the Diamond League final, he was right there with Coleman.
yeah,
So it's my thing about it is Coleman will be fresher because he would not have run the 100 meters.
yeah.
For me, it won't matter because I don't think Akeem Blake will make the finals of the 100 meters. I'm saying this right here. I don't think he'll make the finals of the 100. I have my 8 finalists, and I'll get to it shortly. But I
Uh-huh.
don't think he'll make the finals. So for me, one of those issues is no, it's Coleman versus Akeem, but it's Kung Fu Kenny after 6 races versus Oblique Seville, who we've seen has literally said this backstretch is mine. He's cemented himself as the backstretch runner. Like he's
Yeah,
our new Michael Freighter, just a lot faster. That's his
yeah,
leg, you know. And for me, if he gets to 10, if he gets to 9.7 by Worlds, which I think he can do, and he's giving us 9.7, and I'm not saying Oblique is going to run 9.79. Nope, his 9.7 is going to be 9.75 or faster. I'm telling you that.
ooh,
And if he gets to that, that for me is it's over for Kenny. And that is my issue, which goes back to what you just mentioned. Kenny not being a relay guy per se,
mm-hmm.
because Oblique has been running relays for a decade and a half. He
Yeah,
was running relay at Homewood. He was running relay at Calabar. His one international medal came from a 4x1, and he was anchoring at the time. He
yeah,
knows relays. So you're going to do that. My issue with the Jamaica team is that last leg, Kishane.
yep. Like Kashane has looked like when Black Panther when
Right.
like they take his power away and when he to fight to see who's going to be able to get the next one. It looked like somebody took away Kashane's Black Panther power whenever I see him in the 4x1. because
Yeah,
I'm looking. Even in the Olympics, I'm looking every time. He does not do anything. He gets the stick in whatever place he is, and he stays in that place. There is nothing that I see that like surprises me and shocks me, and like it just doesn't look like a 9-7 runner getting the stick in fourth leg. So
I,
that tells me his power is that first 60 meters of coming at the blocks. When you remove the blocks, he is an average runner. Like he's not this amazing being. So I'm telling you right now, unless y'all have, I'd say it has to be 8 and beyond. Anything less than 8 meter lead, Noah is coming.
here's
He
my
is
issue
coming.
here's my issue with Kishane. Brian Lavelle is used to running 4x1s.
Mm-hmm.
Akeem Blake is used to running 4x1s. Oblique Seville definitely has been running 4x1s.
Yep.
Kishane has never made a Jamaica team until last year at any level.
Yep.
He's not a 4x1 guy. He's never run the 4x1s.
And it
Now,
shows.
if I was Jamaica, this is what I would do to save face. I would start with Kishane.
Yeah. So he can
I would
use
put
his strength.
exactly. I would put
Mm-hmm.
Brian Lavelle to run that back stretch. I'm gonna give
Mm.
Akeem Blake the shortest distance and say to Oblique, take it home.
Hey, that's fire. Because we proven Oblique can hold off Noah.
Yeah, that we've known that. That's a fact.
Yeah,
We
we
know
know
that.
that. So it's like, you know what? Don't say that again. I don't want them to hear that because that makes me nervous. I don't like that, Rhea. That makes me nervous. Let's keep that between us.
But yeah, I would, because if you start with Kishane, you've just neutralized Christian Coleman. Like
Mm-hmm.
his superpower is gone now.
Yep.
You put Brian Lavelle, who yes he would have run the 200, but he's a 982 19.6 guy. He's
Mm-hmm.
going against Kenny, but he probably will have a 2 meter lead. He's
Yep.
not. You're not going to close that. I don't care
Yep.
what you do. You're not closing that.
Yeah.
The only so then you would say, okay, Courtney, it's going to be you and Akeem. Akeem just has to get the button to Oblique.
Yep.
He just has to get the button to
That's all he
Oblique.
has to do. He just has to not get tore up by Courtney. Now,
That's it.
check this out. Courtney runs a good 200.
Yes, he
He,
does.
he runs a mean curve. I haven't seen Akeem have too much work on that curve. So it's like that could be to get us back in the race.
I that would have been my, put it this way, he would be my Nickel Ashmead if you want to put it like that.
Yeah.
Like Nickel was just to get the button to Usain. That your job was just to get the button to Usain. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Oblique would be on fresh legs, probably would have run. He is in 9-7 shape, but probably would have run 9-7 versus 6 rounds of Noah. I believe he has that. Because again, this year has shown me Noah isn't catching him. Like that's
Yeah.
not happening. So
Yeah.
if he gets the button, sure, I'm just saying, even right there with him, I believe because it's not 200 meters, it's probably going to be 90 meters. Oblique has what it takes to hold him off. That's what I would do. But I'm not the
Yeah.
Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, nor am I the coach. I can maybe make a call to one of the coaches, but that's about it. But
Yeah.
that's probably the only thing I would do, right? But that for me
Mhm.
is going to be that showdown in that men's 4x1, because the truth be told, I think the women should win for USA.
Yeah.
They should win,
Mm-hmm.
but we know USA's history with batons. But you guys have a new coach now,
My boy D2, shout out to
right?
him. I see him every day. We train at the same track with his athletes where I train too. So yeah.
So, and funny enough, Tiana will actually be a guest on the show in the next week. So,
Oh, nice, nice.
right, so she'll be here as well. And she knows a thing or two about relays, I should say. I mean, an Olympic record and a world
Yep.
record. You know, the 2 fastest times she was a starter. So, for me, I think that's what it's going to come down to. No, I'm going to get into a race that I think I cannot call a winner to, and I'm going to leave you with this one for the next probably 2 minutes.
All right, and, and,
And
and, and just real quick, this may have to be the last one because I gotta pick my girl up from the airport. So
all right, I understand.
yeah.
So the it has to be the men's 400 meters.
Ooh.
I have no
Ooh.
answer for that race, so I'm gonna give you the floor.
Ooh. I mean, right now, that's a good one. That's a good one. I have to go with Mr. sinking hips, Matthew Hudson, just because. I mean, it's hard because his fellow countryman just keeps pulling a wild card and coming out and just coming closing on everybody like randomly. Like he decides when he wants to do it, and it's really hard to really pick that. Put it like this: I think it's gonna go home a medal Great Britain. I'm not sure which one, but one of them. If I had to pick one, Matthew Hudson, because I've been watching him this season, and his speed has really improved. I was watching him running the 200. Like he's actually getting out and like maintaining that. Like his only flaw, as I said in that thing, is if he could just somehow get them hips right under, it'll be an easy win. But I'll say the 400, like that's probably one of the most unsolidified races for the men specifically that's out there. Now, to me, the one I'm even more excited about is the women's 400.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you have three Goliaths. We had a newer Goliath into the ring. Nasser, am I saying that
Sir.
right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because I thought Paulina had her number. Like Nasser was looking like a god until Paulina came on there, and she just had a number. But this past me, she got out and she held it, and she hit another gear. So it's like I know Paulina's like, okay. I mean, I wasn't anticipating that, so she's gonna go back to work. But then you bring in Sydney. Sydney has something to prove. This is the first time she's not necessarily a clear favorite. This is the first time that she's stepping outside of her comfort realm of these 400 hurdles to try to get dominance in another area. And you best believe she's working because she doesn't have that comfortableness of knowing that she's going to win. Yeah, she had Femke Bowl, but you can ask Femke Bowl, and she knows that she was afraid of Sydney.
Yeah, we know that. That's
and don't forget, Paulino beat Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney came out there dang near running 22 that first 200, and Paulino's like, all right, I'm gonna get you. Reeled her in. So it's like I want to see how Sydney strategically tries to change things up if she does, because to compensate for Paulino's finish. Because other than the last time that Nasser was able to hold her off, nobody has been able to respond to her last 100.
Here, the funny thing about that race is, and I'll say this, it is the first time Sid is going into a race and she has no better than the fourth best personal best. Paulino, Nasser, and the name that we don't mention a lot, Nikisha Price, all are in that race. And Nikisha Price isn't running the collegiate scene this year. I know for a fact she's been training. She has been biting her time. Her job is to PB in that 400 meters. Now her PB is 48.5. She's a Jamaican national record. Sid will have to break the American record, and still that won't be good enough. That's how fast these women are. So I think Sid gets a challenge, because here's the thing. Nasser and Paulina runs two different types of races.
Completely different.
Right? And then Nikisha is the girl that's going to run 20, 15, 20, going right around. That's her thing. She's going to time you. So Sid doesn't know how to respond. She won't know how to respond to everyone. This isn't the 4 hurdles when, okay, it's just Femke. If I get out, Femke can't catch me. That's it. That's fine. No, you have 3 girls with 3 different race strategies who all have run faster than you've ever run. So for me, that race for me is going to be one that I love it. That's a race I'm going to look forward to. A race I'm going to look forward to as well is that women's 100-meter hurdles.
Oh,
because a lot of people have Masai as the out-and-out favorite. I don't, because Masai has shown she can be beaten. She isn't pulling a Melissa Jefferson right now. She's running. Okay, she ran 12-1, got beat the following week. It's one of those things where she can be beaten. And with Akira Nugent, with obviously Lele is my girl. I love her so much. with all those girls, that's a race that I'm going to look forward to.
Do you think that she's gotten beat and having issues is because of vulnerabilities in her race or vulnerabilities in her injuries? Because
I think it has to do with her race. And here's the thing:
Okay.
Masai is one of those girls where we saw it in the Olympics, we saw it earlier in the Grand Slam. She has to run a perfect race. If she
Yeah.
runs a perfect race, you are not beating her.
Yeah.
But why, when we saw her get beat, what did we see? There was someone on her left or there was someone on her right, right
Mhm.
there with her. She started to crumble
Yep.
because if she can't pull away from you, that's when she loses concentration.
Yep.
Now, here's where it might be an issue because when you get someone like an Akira Nugent or even a Megan Tapper who's run 12.3 this year, these girls are going to get out. So too is an Alicia. They're going to get out. Now, if Masai gets out with them, fine, she's going to win. But if
Yep.
she has any slip in those blocks, especially if she's surrounded, if she's between, say, a Megan and a lady that's going to get that start up with her or before her,
Yep.
that's where we've seen her be vulnerable. If she's perfect, well, that's her race. She's 12-1, we get that. But if she has to work, that's the issue. And that's when the stronger hurdlers beat her.
True.
That's when
I
the
agree.
stronger hurdlers beat her.
Yep.
And for the men, I don't want to call the men, but Tinch has been looking.
Hey, Tinch and I'm excited because I think Grant has got comfortable.
Yeah,
He's gotten comfortable because he's been a top dog and he hasn't really felt a need. Like I'm not saying this, but it's hard to have that same grind when you know you can't be beat.
especially after he
And
won the Olympics last year. Like that was his tick. Like he needed
yep.
that one.
So
And
now when you have somebody like, to me, I'd almost even start to say that Tench is the favorite. Like he's looking like his form, his technique. I don't know anything about hurdles, but I can tell you when something looks efficient. And the
yeah,
way he goes over them hurdles, I'm just like, oh, that's how it's supposed to look. Because I've been looking at people hitting, bruising, going, just like thugging it out. But he is so technical, and to have the speed behind it, like it's now one thing that Grant always has over the majority of these other hurdlers is Grant can run. If you
yeah,
move those birds out the way, he is a 10 flat 9-9, a 20 point, a 45 sprinter. I seen it. He did it in Florida. So it's
right.
like he always has that in his back pocket. If he can maintain his composure over the hurdles, he has the advantage in between the hurdles. So it's like it's a very interesting contrast in abilities because you have a runner and then you have going against a technician. So I'm extremely excited to see what's going to happen.
And we look at, for me, like one of the races, and I'm specifically sticking with the sprints this week. One of the races that I'm looking forward to is for the first time, all three being healthy, and you still can't decide who's the top dog, and that's the men's 4 hurdles. Like
Oh yeah,
all three are healthy, but we can't go, okay, Christian is definitely, Carson is definitely the winner, or Ra is definitely the winner.
it's a
These,
coin toss.
it is. And I think what these guys have done is they've made it competitive. And I think it's the first time it's been competitive since the US trio of obviously Batman,
Batman,
Angelo, and
yep.
Perron. You know, Angelo is a fan of the show and big him up. So that was the last time we saw where it was like it's a coin flip. You know,
Yep.
obviously you had Danny McFarlane as well. You had James Carter in there. You had Felix Sanchez. You
Mm,
had Colson from Puerto Rico, where it
yep.
was it was a great. But no, these three guys have stepped up. And then when you look at a youngster, and I have to big him up, which is our Jamaican Rashawn Clark. People forget he's 20.
Oh,
He
dang,
is.
I
He
didn't
probably
know.
just turned 21. He's a
Yeah.
young dude, you know, and
Uh-huh.
he's running 47.4. So that for me is one of those things where he's one of those athletes where he can sneak in because I've said this is the first time that we're going into a championship and no Jamaican is a clear favorite to ever win anything. It's the first time I've seen this probably since I started watching sports, track and field,
Yeah.
because we've always had the Usains, the Shellys, the
Yeah.
Elaines, the Sharikas, the
Veronica.
Veronicas and Merlins or something.
Yeah.
For the first time, it's like we have a large contingency of athletes. I mean, we lost 4 athletes to Turkey due to
Yeah.
unfortunate buyouts. But we also saw Roger Stoner left for Turkey. But here comes Mr. Mullins, Ransford Mullins, breaking the national record in the
Mm-hmm.
discus. You know, here comes a Jordan Scott, here comes a Kerry McLeod, and we're seeing the transitions. My thing is, I'm looking at Jamaica in the next 3 to 4 years, by the 2028 Olympics, because remember, Kishane and Oblique will be 28 at the next Olympics. So to,
Right.
you know, with Akeem, and then you have a Bawaji and Kumi, you have a Brian
Yeah.
Lavelle who's 21. Brian Lavelle is 21. You know, you have obviously an Akira Nugent, you have a Karika Hill, you have a Brianna Liston who is injured this year, but we know what she can do based on what she's
Yep.
done in the NCAAs. So I say this to all my Jamaican people who are watching: do not set your expectations too high. And being very honest, you may be able to set your expectations for the men's 100 because I do have us getting the Quinella there.
Mhm.
But yeah, like, don't be upset if we don't medal in other events that we're used to, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
that,
mean, everybody has their off year. It's a rebuild. We're
exactly, it is.
rebuilding. Mm-hmm.
Like we're the 99 Bulls at this point in time.
Yep,
You
exactly.
know.
We're
So
rebuilding, and you're gonna get back to greatness. It's in the blood. It's in the Jamaican blood. We know
and
it.
and it is true. But one of the things I have said is the world is catching up
That is
because
true.
the Olympic champion is from St. Lucia. Like,
Yes.
you understand? The best
Yep.
400-meter hurdler in the world is from Norway. Like, the world is catching up, and track and field is no longer US, Jamaica, and that's it. Or we've
Mm-hmm.
seen even in the look at something like the throws that's been dominated by Eastern Europeans. A
Yep.
Jamaican won the Olympic title. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the world. It's no track and field is no. It is no track and field, and the world is catching up. There's no dominance of anybody anywhere, and for me, it's one of the greatest things in the sport. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the world starting next week, but it's going to be amazing, you know.
Yep.
But I have to say, because I know you have to go, I
Yep.
want to say thank you. I mean,
Yep.
I shouted, you said yeah, so I have to say a big thank you for that.
Yep. Here to
Um,
talk about track. I love it. That's my passion.
we're here, you know. And I can share this with Justin because I'll be like, hey, Justin, I got him on the show, whatever.
Cool.
You
Cool.
know. But yeah, you're been amazing here, and I know the people will love you. Obviously, the highlights will be up, and people will be seeing clips and stuff like that. You know, because we've
Cool.
moved forward. You know, we're moving forward in a show where we're doing the different channels now. So we're doing right now. We're actually live on 3 different platforms at the same time.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're doing all of that and getting the world to be more excited for track and field, because one of the things we want to do is build the sport, not as
Mhm.
in what goes on the track, but the athletes and the hype surrounding the sport. Because
Yep.
I'm a big basketball fan. I'm a big NFL fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huge fans, and I know, being a Lakers fan, what it is. You know,
Yep.
when you say purple and gold, and I'm a Lakers fan, guys. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm just a Lakers fan. I'm just saying, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I've being a Lakers fan and knowing what it's like when you wear a purple and gold, or being a New England fan and watching Tom Brady and watching that team in there. I mean, you said the Cowboys, so I'm sorry, I'm disappointed, but y'all let go of Michael. Like, y'all let go of Michael. That's messed up.
That was crazy. They crazy for that.
Right, but
But
to see, I see the hype that surrounds these things. Even being a football fan, a Manchester United fan, or a Real Madrid fan, the hype that surrounds it, and everybody talks about it every day. And I think
mhm.
what I'm glad for is now track and field is getting platforms. It's not just the NBCs, and it's not just the ESPNs, it's not just the BBCs, but here are people who love the sport and have opinions of the sport and are watching the sport.
Mhm.
So, I'm a big fan of that. And again, this year I made a pact that I wasn't going to use any Jamaicans on my show this year. I'm sorry, I'm going across the waters. So I mean, I've had Angelo here, I've had Coach Rob here, I've had Erin here all this
Nice.
year. Ray is a good friend of mine and a good friend of the show. So we've had so many of you guys on the show. Not Coach Lester, sorry, Lamont Johnson, and so many of you guys have come and been supportive of the platform. Obviously, Angelo will be back hopefully next week with Terrence and Tiana. So we should look forward to that one. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
so we're starting off our build up to the World Championships. We're starting off what this looks to be an exciting next 9 days come next week. So we're basically a week and a half away from the start of the World. So Mr. Troy Wolf, thank you
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Much respect. In Jamaica, would I say much one love, much love. You understand?
One love.
One love. You know, I'm representing my Jamaica shirt, by the way. You know.
Oh yeah, love it. I
So,
love it. I love it.
yeah, and tomorrow is election day, so people do not watch because I'm wearing green. I'm not going to show you my political affiliation because the two colors are orange and green here in Jamaica. You know, you have red and blue over there, it's orange and green. So,
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
so thank you again, Troy.
Yep.
Big up. We'll definitely be in contact. You know, because we're World Championships after party. You know how that goes. We we're going to be
Yeah,
talking about a lot of stuff after the Worlds, you know. So
yeah,
look out for the call. Thank you so much. Much respect to all
yeah,
the
yeah.
people who have watched and listened. Much respect to you all. Remember, like I always say, God is love, love one another, and have a great night. Thank you all.
All right, thank you.